Welcome, everyone. Have you ever wondered what corporate chess looks like when the board stretches from low Earth orbit, literally all the way down to the code on your laptop? Well, today we're breaking down the incredibly insightful Tech-Reader AI Digest from June 29, 2026. This explainer is going to examine the massive strategic moves and the equally brilliant counter-moves that are currently shaping the titans of the aerospace and artificial intelligence industries. It's a wildly fascinating landscape right now, and the information we've prepared is really going to make these complex dynamics crystal clear.
Okay, let's dive into this. We've got three distinct battlegrounds to summarize today. First, space race flanking maneuvers. Second, the great AI model delay. And third, the AI productivity paradox.
Section 1. Space race flanking maneuvers. To truly understand this high-stakes board, we first have to look at the sheer, brute force momentum of SpaceX. I mean, they aren't just going public, they are executing a total financial blitz. Right after their June 12th IPO, they rapidly secured a massive $25 billion bond offering late in the month. And that specific move was absolutely crucial because it cleared out their September 2027 bridge loan liabilities, completely wiping out their primary structural debt overhang. But the real kicker? That happens on July 7th. SpaceX is using fast-track protocols for large-cap listings to join the NASDAQ 100. This is a massive game-changer because inclusion in this index forces passive, benchmark-tracking funds to buy SpaceX shares automatically. It doesn't matter what the active valuation metrics are, it's guaranteed, automated, institutional capital inflow.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how you juxtapose SpaceX's mass production frontal assault on the market with what Rocket Lab just did. Right in the middle of Musk's news cycle, they dropped a bombshell countermove, an $8 billion strategic acquisition of Iridium Communications.
There's a brilliant insight here from tech writer Aaron Rose. He points out that Rocket Lab isn't trying to outlaunch Elon Musk. They know they can't match SpaceX's mass production infrastructure, right? So instead, they executed a classic flanking maneuver. By acquiring Iridium, Rocket Lab snagged exclusive ownership of licensed L-band satellite spectrum. And guys, this is a finite, sovereign asset. You literally cannot just build or replicate this with more hardware. Starlink's high-frequency constellations notoriously struggle with polar coverage gaps, but this L-band spectrum, it covers those exact gaps perfectly. So it's an incredibly defensible, highly structured play aimed squarely at the lucrative government and maritime markets. It's strategic brilliance over sheer force.
Section 2. The Great AI Model Delay.
So, Google's highly anticipated Gemini 3.5 Pro just missed its initial June rollout window, pushing general availability back to July 2026. Now, in a vacuum, a one-month delay? Kinda minor. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why Google's delay actually matters in such a cutthroat competitive landscape. If we look at Sensor Tower's May 2026 data, OpenAI's ChatGPT is dominating, with a 46% share of the global AI assistant market. Google's Gemini is sitting in a respectable but definitely distant second place at 28%, and Anthropic's Claude holds about 10%. When a market is moving this fast, every single week a flagship model is delayed, you're basically giving your competitors free oxygen.
Compounding the pressure of this delay is the human capital flight. Operational data from late June documented 4 senior Gemini researchers leaving directly for their competitor, Anthropic, and this follows other high-profile exits earlier in the month to both Anthropic and OpenAI. Now look, a revolving door of elite researchers makes for fantastic dramatic media headlines, but we have to stay grounded in the engineering reality here. In software development, execution credibility is the ultimate currency. Actually shipping a stable, fully functional product matters exponentially more than hitting some arbitrary PR calendar deadline.
And when that product does finally see public deployment, there's really only one metric that developers are actually going to care about. 2 million.
2 million tokens. That represents Gemini 3.5 Pro's context window, and it is its core architectural differentiator. A massive context window like this fundamentally rewrites how engineers work. It means the AI can natively handle massive, complex code bases all at once. It processes incredibly dense, long-form human documentation in a single prompt. But most importantly, it completely eliminates the need for developers to use those sloppy, chunking workarounds just to get the AI to read their files. This spec is the real story to watch, especially right now in this very unique July landscape where OpenAI's GPT 5.6 Sol is stuck in managed preview and Anthropic's Fable 5 remains entirely offline for compliance reviews. The window of opportunity is wide open for Google if the tech works as promised.
Section 3. The AI productivity paradox.
Finally, let's pivot to the human element. Because for all our talk about satellites and context windows, the real-world impact is hitting the workforce right now.
We are officially out of the realm of internal corporate rumors and into the stark reality of formal SEC regulatory disclosures. Major tech and enterprise software vendors are codifying large-scale AI-linked workforce restructurings. Meta terminated about 8,000 employees alongside reallocating another 7,000 into new AI divisions. Amazon disclosed 16,000 workforce reductions tied directly to AI infrastructure. And maybe most starkly, Oracle reported an annual workforce drop from 162,000 down to 141,000 in its formal 10K filing, explicitly citing internal AI adoption as the driver. This is a big deal. It introduces distinct legal accountability. It's no longer just standard cyclical downsizing.
Let's move to and see how this builds from corporate math right into human psychology. These massive structural shifts create a really fascinating reality for the workers left behind. An ADP survey of 39,000 workers revealed a phenomenon called the adoption J-curve. So on one hand, daily AI power users are highly engaged. They're experiencing a 30% full engagement rate compared to just 14% for non-users. But paradoxically, those exact same highly engaged users are 4 times more likely to report feeling a drop in personal productivity relative to what they feel their output potential should be.
And that brings us to a razor-sharp insight from Aaron Rose. The fact that power users feel less productive isn't a failure of the AI technology itself. As Rose points out, this paradox is exactly what happens when you drop high-performance automated tools into legacy, human-centered workflows that simply haven't been re-engineered to handle that kind of capacity. The grim reality we have to accept is that the jobs cut by Meta, Amazon, and Oracle to fund their new infrastructure, they are permanently gone. Our workflows have to mature to match tool capacity.
The technology is here, the infrastructure is being heavily funded by sweeping corporate restructurings, and the tools themselves are incredibly powerful. But as we've seen, having the tool isn't enough if the system around it is broken. The ultimate bottleneck is no longer processing power or satellite spectrum, it's human organizational behavior. So I'll leave you with this provocative final thought to ponder as you look at your own daily tasks. Can our legacy human workflows adapt fast enough to match the sheer capacity of these new tools, or will we remain the slow gear in an increasingly automated machine? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.